connected to your own core, pure truth, then it's fine. Do my life every night before I go to sleep.
Why?
What? Because I'm so ambitious and such a perfectionist and very critical in general. So I'm very like, maybe I should have done this better. But then I get rid of that though, and I'm like, all right, how am I going to make X, Y, and Z happen? And I just get very hyper focused on things I want to do, things I need to do, and how I'm going to do them, and then sprinkled in with, damn, I should have done this. Okay, that's over with. But I get very hyper focused on what I want to do, and then what ends up happening is it starts off as anxiety keeps me awake, and that's what starts having me thinking about, this is what I want to do, how am I going to do it, and then I figure out how I'm going to do it, and now excitement keeps me up for the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
So my anxiety of like, here's what I want to do, oh my god, I'm overwhelmed with what I want to do and how I'm going to do it, then I figure it out. Now my excitement has me gassed, and I'm calling my friends, I'm sending voice memos. You know what I'm saying? And before I go to sleep, I'm in Paris right now. It's 5 a.m. in Paris. I have a flight in 2 hours. I was asleep. I wasn't asleep. I was laying in the bed at 2 a.m. when I was on the live, because I was like, all right, I'm about to go to sleep. Fuck it. But I saw y'all talking about what y'all were talking about, and it's to me, that shit is ill. I love it. I love rap. I love basketball. I love certain shit that I love, and I can talk about it all day. So I was like, this is exciting. I'm with it.
No,
Cool.
I can't sleep when it's a good hip hop talk.
That's what I'm saying. So when I was watching it live, my girl was like, "You watching someone on live?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm watching Royce." Da, 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 da. And I was tuned in for like an hour before I
Mm-hmm.
even commented. And then I was like, "All right, well now I'm up." Now I'm up. And then when you were like, and then when people were like, "Yo, add Russ in the live," I'm like, "Wait a second, I'm in bed, lights off, Paris. Like, hold on, let me get my whole life together."
You could
But
can you record like when you're on the road, like in those
at
situations?
all times, at all
You can,
times.
you can.
And for anyone watching, any up and coming artist, all you need, this isn't even what you need, but I'll just give you my whole thing. Lloyd Banks is in here. I'm telling you, me and Lloyd got some. Lloyd went nuts. Me, Lloyd Banks, Sci High on a Static Selected beat. Out of control. Out
Oh,
of control.
you going for blood on that one?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, dog.
Um,
I could take the whole rig out with me on the road with me. Everything
yeah.
with
So
and nothing to get done.
that's it. Oh, really? I feel
Yeah,
like when I first met you and M, I asked that. I asked if y'all fucking record on the road.
we was hit, I had him hitting pads, didn't I? We had the boxing gloves on.
Bro, can I give the story? Let me tell you something. The first time I met M, it was like how you would want to meet Eminem. We like, it's got the compounds like Leeds Festival or some festival in England. Walk to the compound. He's hitting pads. He's boxing, hitting pads. I'm like, this is next level. This is out of control. Was this planned? But now it's incredible, and y'all were like, it's weird to me. I've met the idols who inspire me to rap, and for some bizarre reason, I wasn't nervous as nervous as I thought I was going to be around them compared to other people. So I don't know. That's like a whole multi-layered thing, but
I'll tell you
uh,
one interesting thing that is always interesting is to see how people are when they meet him, like other artists.
I feel like I was not as nervous as I really thought I was going to be, but maybe I was dumb nervous. You tell me, please.
You was cool. You was cool.
How though? That's what I'm saying. How? I've no idea, like, because I've met people who I didn't look up to as much as M, and I was like, I was not. But I don't. But you know what? That's a testament to M. It's a testament to even to Kanye. When I met Kanye, it was the same way. I was like, you know what? I'm starting to really, really believe in people's energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like his energy, Eminem's energy, and Kanye's energy. It was just welcoming and non-judgmental and non-competitive
Where you
with
meet
me.
Kanye? Where you meet Kanye at?
When he was doing the Sunday service at the Forum, like 2019
At the forum?
at the forum. Yeah, I had a conversation with him, and it was dope. And I was like, you know what? Like I said, him and those. I mean, Kanye and Dre are why I started making beats. Eminem is why I started rapping. So I'm like, if I was gonna be dumb nervous and freaking the fuck out, it was around them. But people's energy is real, and that's when I really bought into that. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
man, they just
It's
were.
important. It's important, man. It's
But don't
I'm
you think
glad
that
I
it's
met.
it's also about being like they're not so still in the Eminem and Kanye are grown to the point where it's like I've been there and done that. I'm
Yeah,
not still
man.
sitting here trying to, you know what I'm saying?
It's
And so
another
it's
day in
like
the
there
office.
was there was a OG energy that made it comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Where I like they weren't even, I don't know, the energy was not on some, as it shouldn't have been. It wasn't on some peer shit or on some like competitive shit. It was like they both kind of knew the role they're in and they knew what it was. It was on some OG shit. And
They
it
know that
was,
they know they'll kill our lives lyrically.
yeah. And so it's like there was is what it was. That's what I'm looking for. There was no ego. And
Right.
I've met people that I've looked up to less than them who have a bigger ego than them. And that's the shit that trips me out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, do egos bother you?
Egos bother me, and I've had a crazy ego before, and I have an ego from time to time, and I try to check it, but I know an ego is important for certain things, but
Why do other people's egos bother you?
other people's egos only bother me if I'm meeting you with my ego down. I expect a certain reciprocation of energy,
In terms of just communicating?
communicating, and just like if I'm meeting you barriers down, ego down, leave your ego away too. If not now uh uh now the whole exchange is off.
Right. So you want somebody to meet your energy, match it.
Yeah, now if I come in chest out, ego up, then by all means rock out.
Mm-hmm.
But if
That's,
not,
but that's like
but
that's like that's like you're requesting to meet somebody's um the person that they have stand in for them when they're trying to impress somebody. Their representative.
come on.
And you know that you know the crazy thing about that, Russ, is the other person that's in there, the real person, that person's gonna come out eventually, sooner than later. So I rather just
The non-ego person.
I mean I don't subscribe to that. You know?
You don't subscribe to what the ego version of people.
Yeah, man. I mean, people can have egos. I don't have a problem with that. Like it doesn't shit like that don't bother me. You know what I mean? Like,
It doesn't I don't necessarily have a problem with it. It just kind of limits where the communication can go.
well, everybody is not meant. It's not intended for you to communicate with everybody. See, to me, it's just about respect. You know what I mean? No matter
That's
what
true.
walk of life you come from, how much of an ego you have, how humble you are, if you're respectful and you treat people kind, you'll be all right. Because
Yeah.
motherfuckers ain't working with motherfuckers just because they some dope, humble motherfuckers to work with. You be humble with a motherfucker. If you're not hot no more, nobody's gonna call you. If you're a dickhead and you hot, people are gonna put up with it. You know what I mean? So what I just find is I'm just be myself. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes it can be off-putting. Somebody may take something I say or something I do and say,
Yeah.
"Yo, he has an ego," because that's the first place people go to when you're an artist. It's easy to paint you as that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's such the go-to narrative. It's the
You
default
can't you
narrative.
can't you can't stop people from painting you as things. So I just stopped even caring. You know what I mean? The key is to be able to sleep well.
Yeah.
I like to sleep well. You know what I mean? Like, you can say anything you want about me behind my back, but that don't make it the truth. It just mean it's your truth. It's whatever makes you feel good. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I got to be intentional with whoever it is that I am. You know what I mean? Like, and I can't. I've tried different versions of myself. I've
Mm.
tried. I've tried. I subscribe to like appeasing people, trying to make everybody happy, trying to make everybody like me, trying to create art that's relatable to all. It's just no such thing. You know what I mean? It really not even close. There's no such thing. There's no way you could do that. There's no possible way that you can go in there and figure that out.
Bro,
It's not a thing.
see, this is what I'm saying. This is why I only like talking to people and rapping with people who are just better than me and further along on the journey. Because what you're saying is simply like you've simply experienced more life. So there's more insight on it because I feel like what you're saying and when it comes to like trying all these different versions of yourself and all that, it's like what I realized too was when I write my simplest song, but I do that simplicity really well, they go crazy. When I sit there and I try to write the most relatable thing, I sit there for hours and hours and hours and get frustrated. And when I look at all my favorite songs, you know what I'm saying? When you look at an M, a Kanye, or any of this shit, it's like it's people who did really simple concepts really, really well.
Yeah.
It wasn't I'm trying to write a song about curing cancer with the craziest melodies. That's never really what did it. It was whoever can make simple concepts feel like the world, it's a rap. It's a rap. When
Yeah,
you
I mean
can make simple
that's the thing about art, man. It's like it's 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 this thing, man. Like especially the classic shit.
yeah.
The classic shit is the thing that those are the things that if it's classic, it's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be able to explain it. It's just understood. That's what makes it classic.
See, Royce,
And
and I don't even want to cut you off, but someone said Stan wasn't that simple. The concept of Stan is simple. It's just a diehard fan. That's not, you're not like, it's not, when I say simple and when I say complex, I don't mean, I mean,
you're
you're
talking
not
about
sitting,
simple and concept.
yeah, I'm talking,
Concept is simple.
the concept of Stan is simple. It's I'm going to write from a fan's perspective. That's not like, yo, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to cure world hunger. I'm trying to figure out how we get more wells in third world countries. Like, come on. This is just literally like someone doing something very close to their life in a really, really, really ill way and because they did something simple in an ill way and the songwriting was great, it's relatable. And that's what I mean by doing simplicity at a high level.
I mean, but who said that? Who determined that? Who came to that conclusion?
That what? Stand is not simple
That
or stand is simple?
no, but just the conclusion that when people make shit simple and easy to get, and then like what you just said, like that's what made it a hit. Like that's what people liked about it.
Who decided that it was a hit? That stand was a hit?
No, not Stan, just period. Like anything that you can think of that's like, are you saying that like
I think there's a beautiful, beautiful marriage between simplicity and where it still makes you think a little bit. It's simple, but it's relatable. Like, and I feel like personally, I feel like Eminem was great at that. Kanye's great at that. Drake is great at that. I feel like, okay, Mockingbird, right, is a great
mhm,
example at someone taking something very just like personal to their life, telling a personal story, using the names and the simplicity of it. But because you did it over great music, great production with melodies, it's huge. The first song that ever took off for me was a song called Goodbye. It was a beat I
mhm,
made. It was like a uh, Etta James flip, or was it a not Etta James? It was someone else, but it was this crazy soul sample, crazy shit. I had her singing the hook, and then I rapped over the crazy flip, right? But
mhm.
I didn't think anything of the song like that as far as global appeal, because in the whole song, I'm talking about a breakup, and I'm naming the chick I was really with in real life. I'm naming her name. I'm naming dude's name in my town. Like,
So
it's
you thought it
such
was
a
personal. You thought it
personal.
was personal.
It's such a personal song that I'm like, I mean, if this doesn't leave this town, I get it. And that was the first one to take off. And I was like, oh, and now it's gold, and it's like one of the biggest songs of the show, and all these things. And I'm like, oh, I get it. And then John Mayer just said it in his interview with Zane Lowe, where he said something along the lines of, and everyone should go watch this shit because what he said was absolutely insane. Something along the lines of, when I've tried to write the universe, I never write it. It's shit, it's trash. When I try to write a tiny little water bottle, I end up realizing that the universe is inside of the water bottle, and it's huge and it's massive. And that's kind of what I definitely misquoted that, and it's super fucked up. But that's what I take from my songs that have done well and songs that I've loved over the years, is that they're these simple songs in concept and in theory. They were just done very well from a sonic songwriting standpoint. And I mean, and that's the constant code I'm trying to crack. I'm trying to constantly write the most personal song while it being the best music I feel like I can make at all times. I'm trying to check so many boxes. Speaking of checking boxes, I'm trying to have the most personal, authentic concept with the illest raps, with the illest melodies at all times. At all times.
Are you an employee of the people? Do you work for the people?
Can't. Impossible.
Have you ever felt like
Impossible.
that?
No. No. Because I didn't even grow up on artists that I felt like they were doing that. Once again, Eminem, Kanye. There's no chance Eminem is rapping about his family because people would feel that. Nowadays, with social media, artists are definitely more of a vending machine because you get to read and see and be aware of what the consumer wants way more so than artists used to know. As artists nowadays, we have so much more insight onto what consumers may want, and we can easily be swayed now more than ever. And I'm not with it, man. I just want to make shit. Anything that ever did quote unquote well for me, it was because I just made shit about my life that I fucked with. And the bigger you get, the more visibility you get, and like you said, the older you get, the more you think. And your brain is the worst enemy, man. And
Yeah,
I be trying to turn my brain off.
rich,
What you say?
especially when you're rich.
Well, yeah, because especially when your everyday life isn't relatable anymore. That's what gets tough. And I tell people that it's like, when you're trying to get on, when M has a song called "I Just Don't Give a Fuck," on two block with Tupac, it's like, if it's like, okay, cool, we're all broke, we're trying to get on. That's the most relatable energy in the world. There's a reason why "Heartbreak" is just the number one most written song, because whether you're rich or broke, everyone's getting their heart broken. Everyone's going through that, and it's relatable.
Bro,
It's tough.
when I got in the game, I swear to you, the thought that I had, I remember thinking this. I don't want to. I'm not going to talk about my life because I don't think people would be interested in that because it wasn't. It's not the same. It's not the same story as the shit that people say they like. You know, like the drug dealer from the street dude, all of that. Just that whole story. So
Yeah.
I just rapped. I just did my shit that I felt comfortable doing, my battle raps, my regular rap,
Hmm.
and I learned really quickly how quick the novelty of that shit wears off.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, okay, all right, you rap well. Okay, now who the fuck are you? Now what?
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So it took me um shit, I've been sober 8 years. It took me until I got sober to finally do a self-defining album, which I feel every artist should have one self-defining album where the listener hears it and they feel like they know you. You know what I mean? And if you can go to a place where you could be that kind of transparent and you can express who you are in that way.
That's so profound. You're saying that. I'm working on that right now, man.
Well, listen, I did that. Um, and it resonated with people. Um, I don't think it's a such thing as too personal. I think it's just
I agree. I agree.
I think people think that we so far apart. Like the earth is so big, you know, like our stories are just unique to us, but you have no idea, man, how like your truth, your testimony, the way that resonates with somebody else, even if it's just something that they could draw a correlation to. Like people don't realize how important dialogue is and just narrative. Like that's why preachers, the right preacher will have a control over your grandmother. She'll give him anything because
Yeah,
he has a way with words and he has a way of communicating with her. And I feel like artists have that same power. One
I
of the things
agree.
I see that we do is we don't use that muscle that makes people choose. We go to this safe space that's like where people can just be okay with us. We can't be in that place.
Because you're so, bro, I agree. Because you're so scared to to offend somebody. So
Nah, that's the camouflage.
you create on eggshells, which is why
Nah,
like that you know what's fucked up? What's fucked up is that when people have this narrative with artists where it's like, oh well, I like your old shit more, right? I like your old shit. Da-da-da. It's like there's no way to ever explain to the consumer, but Andre 3000 did like a really good job at it. And he said in the interview, he said, imagine playing with toys in your bedroom and you're in your whole own world and you're playing with toys and it's dinosaurs and they're crashing and and all this shit. And he said, imagine your mom flings open your bedroom door like, Andre, stop playing with your toys. It's like that's the world. I took it as that's the world once they get a hold of you, once you blow up. In 2015, for me, when I was just making songs in a basement with no one listening, no one watching, I didn't even have the capacity to give a fuck because there was no one giving a fuck about me. I'm playing with songs and toys in my friend's basement. That's you know what I'm saying? Like I'm making songs. The world busted open the door and critiqued how I was playing with this shit and how you're doing the songs and all these things. Imagine trying to have that childlike innocence of where you're just having fun playing around, but it's constantly the world is in your room and they're constantly critiquing. Of course, the creation is going to change. And the trick for me is to shut off the outside world and still, once again, John Mayer talks about it. When your soul and the whole shit gets pulled all the way out of your body and starts to permeate around the world, the real the real step that I feel like needs to happen is when your core pulls yourself back down and is like, this is what fuck that. This is what we're doing, this is what we're on. But it's tough. People act like it's not people want to sit here and act like they're them. Y'all are hardly you in front of your mirror. Let alone are you you and are you brave enough to do your passion in front of your friends? Let alone are you brave enough to do your passion how you see fit when the world is watching? Shut the fuck up.
that's a tough one.
Y'all are not even
It's
that ballsy. So people just have such quick ass comments when that's why I had the line I said, you're not even you enough to fuck with me.
bro, it's a you know, we all it's like we all on a journey.
Uh-huh.
But then you just realize you just gotta arrive at a place. That's all. You gotta get to that place. You can't just be chasing. So when you get to that place is the comfortable in your skin place. It's the place
Yeah.
where you get and you okay with people not liking things. You're not looking
Yes.
outside of yourself for validation. Like nobody could validate me. That's not a thing. You know what I mean? So like the way you got your finger on the pulse of the culture, that's what's valuable. They can't monetize that. They can't bottle that up and put it in something and sell it. That's what makes you special. So anything that you do or invite into your space that makes you second guess that is to your detriment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they're gonna always try to get in your head and make you second guess what your regular instincts are. But it's the reason why they record executives, and none of them know shit. None of them. I don't talk to them. It's the reason why they record
Oh
executives,
yeah.
and we the culture is the culture. So it's like you gotta. I treat myself like I'm a walking, breathing culture, and I try to
Yeah.
get better every single day. I try to improve as a person, though. I try to be better as a person because I feel like if I can evolve as a person, everything will get better. I don't look at what's going on in the
Right.
culture, keep up
Right.
with what's going on. That doesn't matter. You know what I mean? What I do is gonna always be good. I'm never
Right.
gonna subscribe to what's going on at the moment because the people don't know what they want. They don't know what they want until we give it to them. That's our job to tell them what they want. You know what I mean?
It's
So you,
true.
you don't have to
That
do like due
yeah.
diligence. Nobody knew they wanted an album about smoking weed until Dre gave them the Chronic, and now that's cool. We tell you what's cool.
But that's see. This is what you're saying. I hope people understand. That's that's the difference though between leaders and followers. Is that the world doesn't, and my friend tells me it all the time. The world has no clue what the fuck they want until you give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
that's
that's
what
the
you
fun
just
part.
that is the fun part. And the funnier part is watching the world think that they know what the fuck they want. No,
Yeah.
you don't know what the fuck you want until Steve Jobs gave you an iPhone, and then you're like, I want an iPhone.
Social media is just it's just too much information at your fingertips. So it make
Yeah.
motherfuckers think that they are experts, and it's fun as a fan to critique things in really meticulous ways. You know what I mean? I love when I put some shit out and I hear somebody saying, see somebody saying something about the mix, the beat, my vocal should have been louder. You know what I mean? All of these technical things where it's like, why the fuck you care about that? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
We never did that. I never bust shit down like that. But now everybody is a critic. Everybody is like a fucking expert. You know what I mean? So
Well, see, this, and then I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna pass back out, and it was incredible. But I want to ask you this question. We're leaving it on that note. See, social media has made everyone think they're a celebrity, but what the fuck have y'all done that's worth celebrating?
nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing. Social media has made everyone think they're a celebrity, but what have you done that's worth celebrating?
Well,
Not a damn thing. Mind your
media,
business.
social media makes it to where it's in your best interest, at least you think it's in your best interest to look like the rest of the celebrities. So you go
Literally.
straight to that space because you feel in order to be accepted, you got to get there and you got to be rich. So every rapper you run into is going to tell you that they're rich. Every single last one of them.
Yeah.
Taboo.
Yeah.
It's taboo to just be okay and be a rapper.
Right. Right. It
You can't,
has to be the overcompensation.
yeah. You can't just be your money can't just be all right. You got to be rich. Otherwise, you're ostracized out of the cool crowd.
Yeah. Right. 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 Right.
You know what I mean? So the whole fake it till you make it thing that's another distraction. You know
Oh
what I mean?
man, it's
The
ego,
innocence
but
it
that's
takes to
ego.
do that.
That's ego. That's ego. But all right, listen, Royce, man, one of the
My
realest
brother.
ones, bro. You already know. I'm gonna send you this Chomp 2 shit. Listen, if listen, you can do 10 minutes. Do whatever you need to do.
So you want me to do that one, or what about the other two you sent me?
Do
Do those?
anything I sent you, get on it.
Okay. All
For
right, I
sure.
got you.
My God, man.
I got you, man. Love and respect always, my brother.
Always, bro. I
Peace,
appreciate it,
peace.
man. We'll talk soon. Peace,
Yes,
bro.
sir.